Good evening. Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the think show that proves without a shadow of a doubt the so called Black African American that you know as didn't get to America by way of ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. And I get a phone call from a young lady today. She's young, so she didn't know a lot of stuff about this group, but she wanted to know what I think about the Black Panthers. So this is dedicated to her and all the young people who want to know what's been going on the past couple of 100 years, but are getting no answers from anybody. So we're going to make this quick. All this information is right at your fingertips. I'm just sharing what I found today, what I pulled up today about who the Black Panthers are and what is their purpose to everybody. So here we go. Check this out. Coming, you guys. It's going to be a. I got a lot of things I want to share with you guys, but when you see this, you're gonna be like, "Damn, it was like that." Yeah. So let me just get you going. Just give me a minute, and you're gonna have to ask yourself these questions, and please pass this on to the youth so they won't repeat the same mistakes that we're dealing with right now. The Black Panther Party. So, the Black Panther Party was started in Alabama. Even the Black Panthers will tell you that, or at least they should. The Black Panther Party started in Alabama. You can look this up. And what I showed you today is something what most Black people normally do. They work against you, they set you up. That's their job. If you ever saw that black and white checkerboard, that's what that's about. We'll get into that later. Probably not later tonight, but later on. And you got to notice and pass it on to the kids, because if you don't, they're going to repeat the same mistakes you made. So the Black Panthers started in Lowndes County, Alabama. That's where my family's from. So I must show you some things when you do genealogy. You have to know some certain things about yourself. Don't talk about we, because we not in it. It's you. And when you talk about we, you put yourself in a position that you may not ever be able to get yourselves out of. Because it ain't we. What's your people? What's your bloodline? What's your highway back to your people? So you see, Lowndes County is right next door to Montgomery, Alabama. Montgomery, Alabama is the capital of Alabama. So you see all these counties. The land didn't look like that when these invaders came. All these counties are named after people who came over with the army to take the land. Now remember, the 13 colonies. You had the 13 colonies that went up to New York and came down to Georgia. Everything west of that was called Indian country. So this is something that the young lady didn't know. Something we don't teach our children. We teach them something else. to make sure they're dumb. And that's why you see things going like it is now. So Lowndes County, this is where the Black Panthers started. So one of the things that you have to know about Lowndes County is, remember, these people came from England and Europe and stuff, and they had kings. They didn't have money. They didn't bring money with them. You use it as a trading device between other peoples all through America. This is one of them here. Remember, Lowndes County, where the Black Panthers start. And I'm going to show you how it got to California and became the bumfuck that it turned out to be. And all of you that want to get mad and know that, you're going to see. And just because you support it makes it worse for the kids. So this is one of the notes back in the day. You know, when these people was coming over here and tried to take over your economy, which they were finally able to do, but you call it Black Wall Street for some reason. There's other notes, and these are not just notes in Alabama. These are all over the place. Virginia, not Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi. These are the things we have to teach our children, because if not, when you come back, and you will be back, you're going to repeat the same mistakes that you left the children with. So you see up here in the top left-hand corner, it says Montgomery. This is 1864. Not that long. That's recent history, you guys. We don't understand that. And that's on us, because we don't ever understand. We never know nothing. You know how we do. Lowndes County, this is where the Black Panther Party come from. Listen, because this is simple. We won't, I don't know. I'm confused. That's what we do. Sorry, I'll skip that one. Because they just, they do this sex thing online. I mean, because that's all they can sell. That it's worthless. Here's another Confederate. This is you on the money. How come our children aren't taught this? We're taught everything in the black. And we're going to get to that definition. And I want somebody to come up, because, we love to run our yaps and explain these things. This is what you probably wasn't taught it. This is what your kids are being taught. They're not being taught it now because you don't tell them. This is you on the money. Montgomery, Steele, you on the money. That's your industry. That's what you did. So when people always say, "Well, we were slaves, we were slaves," well, if you were slaves, who are these guys? You won't get an answer. These are Buffalo Soldiers. How are you in slavery and these cats running around fighting you? Listen, a lot of things you can't look up, because whoever's writing it is lying to you. All you got to do is think. Who are these guys? While you're in slavery, these cats going around fighting who? Was they catching Indians or what was called Indians? See, the history you've been taught, you can't even explain it. If you think I'm lying, go to a place called TikTok. You'd be embarrassed by what these cats are saying. These are called the gatekeepers. So whenever you hear of gatekeepers, this is what they're referring to. People who make sure you don't get no information. Who are these cats? Tuskegee Airmen. Thank you for your service. Worshipped. So you have to ask yourself, what was going on in your communities when the Black Panthers were going around? And did the Black Panthers step in to make sure that didn't happen? You have to ask yourself, what was going on in the 40s up until the 80s in your communities in America while the Tuskegee Airmen were around, fighting for who? The same people who was beating your ass, taking your shit. But we don't want to talk about that. It didn't happen like that. Yeah, it did. The Tuskegee Act was active from 1940 to 1948. Wasn't that Jim Crow time? Huh? Wasn't that Jim Crow time? And these the people that you worship, and so this is why I say you always lose, because you've always fallen for stuff that makes no sense. This is what you're taught. You don't stop and think it for yourself. You don't figure it out for yourself ever. You just do what you're told to do. The Jim Crow era was 1877 to 1964. We like to clap our hands and clap our feet and say we did this. We? How many people was in the Tuskegee Airmen? Were they the Boule? Were they in all these Greek fraternities? You never hear nobody talk about that. Never. But you worship it, what you call Black and African American. This is these are God's people. If anybody think I'm lying, please come up and explain how I'm lying. Now, to the Black Panthers. And this is simple. I mean, a 5-year-old could understand this. Stokely Carmichael. Who was Stokely Carmichael? And always notice this. They always get somebody from another country to represent you. Somebody from somewhere else. We'll let you in America. We'll let you be part of America if you come and do this. If you come and do this for us. Bones. What's going on, brother? Bones. What's going on, brother? Okay, Bones is not here. Cool. Let's keep rolling. Bones, your devices are not connected.
You can hear me?
I can hear you now.
No, I just came up real quick because your screen was messed up. It was showing Adobe instead of what you was talking about.
Okay, I'll. What about now? Wait a minute. Okay. Uh, sh-
Yeah, I'll drop back down. I just came up to let you know real quick.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that.
Anytime.
So now let's get into the Black Panthers. Is it showing now?
Yeah, it's on the screen now.
Okay. Normally, when they get want to get something to fool the Negro, they always get somebody from somewhere else, Africa, the Caribbean. Even though the Caribbean is part of America's, remember parts of the Caribbean are controlled by other European nations, Spain, France, Portuguese, whatever. So they'll get people who are trained in those places to come up and trick you. And it works like a charm every time because it's always working against you. And this is just one example I'm gonna show you, but damn, y'all, th- this is why we're mocked because we never get it. This is what Stokely Carmichael said when he went down to Lowndes County. Civil rights worker Stokely Carmichael called Lowndes the most backward and violent county in Alabama when he came to organize voters here in 1964. The county was 80% indigenous, but after decades of violent white supremacist intimidation, not one indigenous person was on the voter rolls in the county. We're going to have a program talking about voting real soon. 2 years later, they took the Black Panthers. And remember, the Black Panthers was a voting. It was to get the people in the county to vote because it wasn't voting. He called it the most backwards county in America, but they took the name and took it to California, Oakland, California. And I'm sure many of you already know this story. All hell broke loose then. And we're going to show you why most of you, that didn't happen. Yeah. These are the cats who started the Black Panther Party. Remember, anytime you get your weapons from your enemy, you're going to use them. You're not going to use them on the person who gave them to you. So that's why when you see all the Buffalo Soldiers and blah, blah, they didn't use weapons against the people who gave it to them. They were ordered. And when you're in the military, you're told to take orders, aren't you? These cats came to California, bought the idea. The whole idea for the Black Panthers in Lao was to organize the people so they could have a voting block in Lowndes County, Alabama. That's all. That's all. Because they wanted to vote. They took the idea, ran it to California, and those of you who followed the Black Panther Party knows what happened. So one of the things that I notice that Black people, African Americans don't do, they don't dig. They don't question anything. You're just told something, and normally the Negro just goes with it. But and this always happened. This dude was third in charge of the Black Panther Party. He was an informant. He was a snitch. Imagine going to a Japanese group and they put you third in charge. Imagine that. You can't imagine it. Oh, it's still not showing. This cat was third in charge of the Black Panther Party. He was responsible for educating your children. And remember, they took it to California because a lot of people had left the South or were leaving the South about that time to get better education, better housing, blah, blah, blah. So they were able to recruit more children. And when I say children, I'm talking about 18, 19, 20, 21. He was in charge of procuring weapons and educating your children. So the young lady that called me up today was like, well, at least they got food for the. They got food from the government, boo. Guess who never knows? The Black Panthers were getting the food from the government. Most of it was the food, and you can ask cats who were in the Black Panthers this. Most of the food they got is the food that's poisoning you today. Huh? We don't know. We refuse to give our children proper information so they can know where they stand and know what to do. We refuse. This was the cat who was in charge of educating your children and getting weapons for you. So, in most of the Negro organizations, it never works because you have stuff like this in there, educating you, spying on you. And then you have to ask yourself, very, and it's a question that you want to ask, who are these cats? Weren't they Greeks? The people who weren't, guess who don't know? Guess who refused to share this information with their children? One, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with this brother, Fred Hampton. Probably the only good thing that came out of the Black Panthers. And this is why I say that. If you ever heard this brother speak, this cat was only 19, 20 years old. If you ever heard him speak, you would wet yourself. Highly intelligent. Highly intelligent. Like I said, he was like 19, 20. I mean, when it first got started, he was probably a little older when they murdered him. What makes him cool is this. It should teach us that we should prepare our children like his parents prepared him. And remember that he was a Black Panther isn't that doesn't get me. How did he get in that position? How did he get to be so intelligent? This is the cat, Dr. Bobby Wright, and I implore you, check this brother out. Check him out. He's very information on him is very hard to find. But he was Bobby Wright's teacher early on. He didn't go to regular school. He was homeschooled or whatever schooling they had in Chicago at that time. He was training the kid. That's how Fred Hampton got to be so intelligent. The community educated him. Just like this cat, Dr. Bobby Wright, when you do some research on him, you'll find out he was raised the same way. Listen, you guys, this information is right at your fingertips. Dr. Bobby Wright has a mental health center in Chicago to this day. Highly revered. Highly revered. You rarely ever hear about him. Bad dude. So now we get to this. This is where we're at now. Remember, if you don't produce your own weaponry, if you don't produce your own self-defense, you're working for somebody. You would think we would know this by now. We don't. Do not send your children out to play in this fuckery, because if you don't know your past, you're doomed to repeat it. And we'll look pretty dumb teaching our kids stuff they don't know nothing about. You get the movies are dumb. Because it just all they gotta do is put a cute actress or a handsome actor in it, and we in love. You send your children out here to get caught up in this stuff that's going on in these streets today, you'll be sorry. You'll be sorry. So that's just a brief synopsis on the Black Panthers. You think I'm lying? Step up and explain why I'm lying. So one of the things how we always get taken is we get caught up in these words that other people come up with to trick you. And the main word that they put up to trick you is this one. Black. Being of the color black. Producing or reflecting comparatively little light. And little light, and when they're talking about light, they mean intelligence. Understand the symbols that are being used against you. Having little or no light, intelligence. I'm sure you guys know this stuff. Of or belonging to a racial group having brown to black skin, especially one of African origin. You know, we try to tell you this every time we come on air. We just basically get cussed out. What they teach you, the terms that they teach you, isn't what they teach their children, isn't what they teach themselves. They teach themselves that they're this. See, that's Columbia. That's the personification of Columbia. Before there was an Uncle Sam and all that, Columbia. She's leading the people to the promised land. Oh, just go look it up. What is the personification of Columbia? What does Columbia represent? and it'll tell you. Guess who never looks it up? Guess who don't care? Then they put it in your face. Even worse, they put it in your face with that. Columbia, Statue of Liberty. We bring the light. We bring the light. Guess what you say? I'm black. You wonder why you lose all the time? All the time? All the time. So remember, many of you going to say, oh, that nigga keep tripping. Boo. Share this information with your children so they won't make the same mistakes that you're making now. If I had anything to say about it, that's what I would say. Teach your kids the truth. All this stuff which you believe, all this stuff is bullshit. All you got to do is think. You guys have a good night. We'll see you next time. Peace.